Greetings Spartans, welcome to another video tutorial. This one will be on the postcard project that you are going to be doing. It's going to be the same thing we did during class. So I'm going to go rather quickly here because I don't have a lot of time in this recording. So first thing you're going to do is put your first initial last name, underscore, and you're going to call it postcard. You know how to do that. Okay, so you're going to open that up. And you're going to grab that picture. Now, of course, I'm doing the New York one, and you're going to find your own, and that's spelled out in the requirements under the assignment page, so make sure you understand how to do that. Okay. And then, of course, you want to go ahead and whether the picture's bigger or smaller than the 5x7, you're gonna do Control T to transform it. Don't forget to do that. Okay, now let me see, move that off the edge. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and first I'm going to take the color away, Control Shift U to desaturate. Then I'm going to go into Control U, the hue saturation window, and the same settings as before. I'm going to go 25. Let's do that again. I accidentally closed that. First thing I'm going to do is colorize it, right? And then hit 25 for the hue and 40 for the saturation and say OK. That gives it the nice tone, that aged look, but to further enhance that aging, we're going to go ahead and lower the opacity to 60%. Hit number 6 on the keyboard and that'll bring it to 60%. Of course, if you did 7, that's 70%, 8 is 80, and so on. But I think we need to have that faded a little bit more, so I'm going to go back to 6 or 60%. Then I'm going to go into the filter, down to noise, and I'm going to add a little noise. We're going to add that aging sort of, that aged effect, that sort of grainy photo effect. Check the Gaussian, monochromatic, 5%. Obviously, the more you go, the greater that noise, which would be very strange. So let's go back to that 5% mode, say OK, looking good. Now bring up your rulers, Control R. Control R will both take it away and reveal it, but we want that open so we can grab those guidelines, the guideline settings. And it all depends on what you want, but for the tutorial we want to come down to the 1/2 inch mark and then come down to the 2.5 inch mark. Okay, and if you do mess up, you could take your move tool and reset it. There we go. Okay, next in line is the type tool. We're going to go ahead and click on the canvas. Up comes the flashing cursor. You also see the type layer over on the layers palette. And what I'm going to do is already have it set to center. I'm going to already set it to 73, somewhere in between 70 and 80 is something that will fit nicely. I'm going to do an Arial and a bold. Of course, your font could do, you could do something different with your font. I'm going to go ahead and type out New York City, and there you have it. And then I'm also going to sort of center that even more with my move tool. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and right click that layer and convert it to a shape. Now it's a vector path. Because it's a vector path, now I'll be able to use my direct selection tool, hotkey A. I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to go ahead. First I'm going to go ahead and change this to a lighter color so you can see those handles, those anchor points. You remember that I'm taking that white arrow and I'm just sort of creating a little box above so that just those anchor points are selected, and I'm going to go ahead and bring that up to the top of that guideline because that's where that guideline is, and then I'm going to bring that down. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to fatten that letter up just a touch, just so we have a better, larger face, larger letter face, because remember our goal is to allow the picture to clip through. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and lower that one downward. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and hold down Shift and select those anchor points and just grab that and move that over. Pretty easy. Then I'm going to go ahead and click on the top of that C, move that downward, and I'm going to choose the bottom of the C, move that downward. I'm using my arrow keys to do that. If you want to move it faster, you can hold down Shift at the same time and fatten that letter up. I'm going to take my black path selection tool and I'm going to group these. I'm going to select these four and just move it on over. Okay? Then I'm going to do the same thing here. Move it on over. I'm holding Shift while I do that so that these letters don't go up or down. See, if they go up or down, we don't want that. So I'm going to hold down Shift. It sort of almost keeps it in line. And it does keep it in line, so that's nice. Okay, looks pretty consistent. That's really important in design. Keep your things to consistently applied. Okay, now it's time to clip those photos. So I'm going to go into Photoshop, or rather my picture settings here, or my picture viewer, and I'm going to grab my Statue of Liberty, go back into Photoshop. I copied that, and I'm going to do Control V. I need to resize this, so I'm going to do Control T, Control 0. Control 0 helps me see the entire photo because it fits it on screen, and I'm going to just make sure that picture fits in nicely over that first word. I'm going to hit Return to apply, and I'm going to right click and create clipping mask. Isn't that nice the way that works? Now you do see it a little bit in the Y, and that's okay because the next photo will cover that. So I'm going to go ahead and find that next photo. There it is, 42nd Street. Copy the image, go back into Photoshop and Control V. I'm going to go ahead and right click, create clipping mask. Now you see I did it out of order, but that's okay because it'll also free transform while it's clipped. So the other way I free transformed it first, but that's okay. Again, they both work. I'm going to resize it just a little bit more, make it a little bit smaller, but make sure you cover the entire word. And there you go. Hit return, and you see a little bit of overlapping here. No problem. I can very easily Control T that and move that over just a touch, and should be good. Okay, finally, go back and get my other picture, copy that cyclone, showing that Coney Island section of New York. Control V, Control T, and Control 0 to see the whole bounding box. And then I'm going to resize the cyclone and place that over that last word. Hit return. Actually, I'm going to hold off on the return and tilt it a touch and hit return now, and then right click, create clipping mask. Okay, so we have 3 embedded pictures. This one's not quite going above, so I'm going to go ahead and do Control T and move that slightly above. There we go, perfect. Alright, so there's New York City. What I need to do next is add a drop shadow. I'm going to go ahead and double click that, and I'm going to create that drop shadow. I don't see it, so where is my drop shadow? Okay, do we see it? Okay, let's see the distance. No, we don't see it. There's obviously a little glitch. Okay, I know what I was doing wrong. I was putting the drop shadow in the wrong place. We want to put it on the actual word, New York City. So there we go. Preview. Perfect. Look at how that stands out nicely. Now you can decide how you want to do that. I wouldn't go crazy. No, I wouldn't. So again, use those styles any way you like, but let's not get out of hand. Okay, I'm going to say okay to that. Let's see what the example said. Let's see. I don't remember. Yeah, that's what we did. Okay. All right, next thing we do is we're going to give our postcard a little slogan. Okay, so I'm going to come down here to the bottom background layer and take my type tool. Now we want to do a different kind of font, and so I suggest you make that decision based on the look you're after, but we don't want to do it the same as our clipping mask. So I'm going to go ahead and lower that font size. Let's start with 22, and I'll do take a bite out out of the Big Apple. Now you know that, and this is a quote by the way, so we'll go ahead and put starting and end quotes. And I'm going to just bring that down a little bit. Let's say about 16 point. And don't forget what the Big Apple is. Big Apple is New York City, so you're going to find a slogan for your own city. Or your other area. It could be an amusement park. It doesn't have to be a city. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reverse the color here. I'm going to make it white, but then I'm going to give it a black stroke. So I'm going to highlight that and come in here and actually a red stroke and say OK. Maybe give that a 2-stroke instead. Say OK. Take a bite out of the Big Apple. I think we need a lowercase a. Yep, we do. Big Apple is, as you know, New York City. And so all we're saying here, this is a Rolling Stone line, by the way. You know the band Rolling Stone? Yes, they got this one, you know, in one of their lyrics. Lowercase b, lowercase o. Okay, take a bite out of the Big Apple. Big Apple is capitalized, and the Big Apple is New York City. So then finally, I'm going to go ahead and add another type layer. There it is. And I'm going to tell my person, whoever receives this postcard, that they should visit New York City. And you're going to want to go ahead and do the same thing. You have to come up with something to get your receiver of the postcard, tell that person what to do. Visit, stay, whatever that might be. Okay, finally I'm going to go ahead and just tilt that a little bit and hit return. And that's pretty much it. I think we put a stroke around that as well. Yes, but make that black. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for, I'm going to move that up. Undo. Okay, thank you for visiting. Hope that helped, and good luck and have fun.